Buenos dias. Welcome to Spain. How are you doing, Tanya?
Hola, very well, thank you.
You awake? You alive? You feeling the newness of living?
Yes, I guess. No, I'm in England. It's cloudy and drizzly and gloomy, so you really have to harness your own sun energy to get through the
Well, just so
day.
you know, it's terribly gloomy here for the
Is it
past two
really?
days, and it's supposed to be this way
Oh,
for the whole week with rain
oh,
and stuff. So,
really?
it is a horrible kickoff to the beginning of fire season when it's just gloomy, but
But
there
at
we
least
have
it's
it.
not crazy, crazy. We've had years where it's been windy and they've been canceling things everywhere, and then you
Right,
never
yeah.
know where they're gonna come back again, and it's like, yeah, very chaotic. So the weather's not that bad. That's good.
It's good. Yeah, I mean, they were blowing up stuff last night,
There
so
you
it
go.
was good, you
It's all
know?
good.
So do you wanna mention the Osbane today? Do you have an
I have a
Osbane?
cute Spain. Yes, I was. So I think I've mentioned that we moved into town, so now we can walk out and go do things. And I was just walking. I was walking Blaze, and I go past someone's house, and someone's just hung a bag with baguettes on the front door. I mean, anybody could take it. It's just sitting there. But I'm
Okay.
assuming that that's a perfectly normal, like, hey, like I went to the store, I went to the bakery and I got some bread and I left some for you. And I'm just going to leave it on your door and you can come down and get it whenever. And I thought that was so nice because the
Did
bakery's
you
not
take
that far
any?
away.
Did you
No, I
grab
can't
some?
mess
No?
with this system.
You
I
don't know
just
what
thought
the
I thought it was
it
so
could have been
lovely.
someone leaving it out for their, like, grandmother or something,
Right?
and
That
they're
could be
like,
the
"Wait."
other way around. Yep, that's true.
And you're taking poor
Oh my
grandma's
God.
bread.
No, I would not mess with that system because I think it's so lovely that you can do that, that you can just leave somebody something somewhere and people don't take it. I've lived in much bigger cities, so that would never happen, right?
Well, you say that, and it's funny because side note, Tanya told me this before we brought it up here on Spain, and literally like 3 days later, I'm walking in the city in my neighborhood, and there was a loaf of bread on a door stoop, like
Okay, but not the same thing. Mine was a fresh baguette in
yeah,
the paper bag. Yours was like you sent me the picture and it was like, it was like the prepackaged sliced loaf
it
from
was
like the
grocery store
store.
bread. Yeah, it
Right.
was the sandwich bread. Yeah,
But it was also sitting on someone's doorstep. So it was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey, they leave bread here too.
yeah.
Also,
You're
I
not so
love that
special.
though. No, I no, but I love that too because probably obviously it fell out of someone's cart or somebody dropped it, right? And
Mhm.
somebody didn't just take it, they left it there again
Right.
for some, and this is in the city, for somebody to come back and maybe like, oh, maybe my bread's still somewhere along my route home. I don't know.
And here's the kicker is it's the favorite sandwich bread that we have in our house,
Oh,
but they don't
really? Maybe
sell
it
it
was
at
you.
no, because they don't sell it at Mercadona, which is where we go all the time because that's our close
Oh.
grocery store. You have to go to other grocery stores to get it, and I never go to Consume or the other. It's very rare
They're
that I go to
just
those
too
where
far
they're.
away. They're like 3 blocks away instead of
It's like
one.
three and a half,
Oh,
four,
I
and
used to have such a hard
Mercadona's
life.
around the corner,
Yeah,
and
it's a tough life you
I don't
have.
need the bread that much. It makes it more of a treat if I only bring it into the house every couple months. You know
That's
what I mean?
true. Well, and I will say part of my New Year's, like, not resolution, I want to say, but part of what I'm doing and part of us moving into town is just to kind of give ourselves more time because we're not driving as much. So we have more
Mm-hmm.
time in the day. And I was like, you know what? I'm done going to the grocery store. So I'm now getting food delivered home and I love it. But it does mean I'm only shopping from that one shop, right? So
Right,
if there are
right.
things that I like in Mercadona, I kind of can't get them. So sometimes the different stores are better at certain things,
Well,
you
can you
know.
alternate one week you get Mercadona to deliver, then the next week it's Consumed to deliver, so
I
you
was
can get all your.
thinking I was thinking of that. That is a possibility. Yes, I could every now and again shop at the other one and get it delivered because it's not like you have to, do it every week. But I just
Right.
love getting food delivered to my house, and they, the heavy things, everything they just pull. I love it. I'm a new person.
How much do they charge you for that delivery? If I may just go side off note, because this is very informative.
Well, this is one of the reasons we picked Consume because they were the cheapest. So they are like between 4 and 6 euros, and then
Okay.
Mercadona I think goes up to like 8 ish, and then El Corte is probably 10 or something. But you get it for free if you spend like over 130.
But
euros or
Mercadona, you don't
something.
get it free if you spend a lot.
No,
Because
I don't
I
think.
had looked when we first moved
Yeah.
here, being like, because we get this bottled water, the soda waters from there, and we go through them a lot. And I was like, maybe I should just order like 4 cases and like 5 boxes of cat litter, the stuff that like takes up half
It was
the
the cat
cart.
litter that did it for me. It was the cat litter and the food, the dog food and cat food. That's what put me over the edge. Yeah.
Well, I had a cart that was like 130 euros, and then it was like 8 euros delivery. And I was like, I am not paying you $8 to deliver. So I never had this stuff delivered because I'm like, I'm not paying you. I'll just walk around the corner. I need the steps. Don't be lazy, Dad.
Well, I will say there's 2 elements of it for me. My husband is very good at going shopping, getting the 10 things he went in for, and leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I will go in for 10 things, I will buy 30 things, and I will miss 3 or 4 of the things that I actually went in there for. This is
You'll
how
miss
I shop.
the roast that you
right?
were supposed to get for dinner.
And then I'll come home and he's like, did you get the flour? And I'm like, oh God, now I have to go back out and get the flour and go buy another 10 things with the flour. So for me, I actually, even though I'm paying a little bit for delivery, because of how I shop, I actually prefer to be super organized, and I order everything for the whole week, and I'm not allowed in a grocery shop the rest of I'm not allowed to go back into a grocery shop, right?
Okay.
And then I have everything that I actually wanted and nothing else, because I'm not like, oh, that looks pretty, oh, that's shiny, right? So I actually am, for me, I'm saving money, even if I'm paying 6 or 8 euros for it to be delivered. Jawad, it wouldn't be a savings for him because he shops responsibly. But for me, it's better. And then also the kitty litter and all that stuff gets delivered, and that stuff's heavy. And when we first moved into our apartment, we hadn't had the water filter put in, so we were like bringing loads of water, and it was like, this is, yeah. And so I love it, but it does, you're right. For me, it makes sense to pay 4, 6, 8 euros to get a delivery, because I'm definitely saving that. But if you're a good shopper, I understand that cost analysis might be different.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just get the litter box. I'll get a box of litter every week versus like having 5. So,
yeah.
But those things do take up half the old lady cart that I use to bring my groceries
and then you're dragging
home.
them and home. Well, you're having to actually walk them home. I would just have to drag them out of the shop into a car, and then from the car to the house. And
there's actually more lifting with that. For the cart, you're wheeling it, and then I'll leave the groceries in the cart till the kids come home from school, and I say unload it, unless there's perishables. You know what I mean?
You'll take the frozen stuff, but I love that. It's my new thing, and I love it.
Well, we did talk about, that Fallas is starting. I did mention that.
Yes.
So I will say that last night, around the corner, they were kicking it off. They had a night mascletà. And I will post it on our Spain Instagram account. I will post the 6-minute video of the night mascletà with shooting up fireworks at the end.
Was that just your town, like in your area of town, or did you go down into the town square to see it?
Oh, no, it was around the corner, literally around the corner.
So they have a bunch of them going off, like...
They had, I want to say there was 4 in the city last night at different parts. It is a main Fallas kickoff thing, because yesterday was the day that it became legal for you to throw your fireworks around the street as the kids. So literally, like, you started hearing the poppets, and then we came home at like 8:30, and then all until about 2 a.m. It's slow, just random firecrackers going off. But, in a week, there'll be more people doing it. And in 2 weeks, it'll be just nonstop.
Yeah.
But
well, since you started that, should we do just like, we're not going to name dates, but there is a schedule for how Fallas happens every year. And then obviously this lands on slightly different dates. But if we're not going to mention dates. Okay, so for the yearly schedule, we start with La Crida, which happens always on the last Sunday in February.
Yes. And that happens at the Serrano Tower that overlooks
so that was
the
last
Torre.
week, presumably.
That was last week, yes. That was last week. And that is a huge thing, and it's televised on, it's live televised on TV and YouTube, and you can go back to YouTube. I would search it, look up La Crida, and it is a beautiful spectacle to see. And my Spanish friends said, I was like, I'm going to take the kids to it. And I was having lunch with them, and they said, the best seats at your house. And it literally was. We watched it on the TV, and I was like, we would not have seen any of
No.
this in person, because they do the video mapping on the tower, but they had suspended dancers from cranes and
Oh,
things. It was very
wow.
Cirque du
Okay.
Soleil kind of too, telling a
Right.
story. It was so beautiful, and then the whole thing's lit up and fireworks and stuff. So
Mm.
from your home, it looked like the opening of the Olympics. It was such a beautiful. They shot it so beautifully. It was like it was a
Oh my
beautiful opening
gosh.
ceremony.
I'm gonna
So
have to go
I-
back and watch that.
Yeah,
And they
yeah, yeah.
don't have do they have masclettas at that, or is it just fireworks and pretty and fun?
It's fireworks and noise. Like
pretty
it's
and
all
fun.
it's a show.
It's a show.
Definitely a
Okay,
show,
perfect.
right? And that
Yeah.
kicks off the beginning of Fallas,
Yeah.
and they have the queen and princess and king
Everybody's-
prince of Fallas there, and
Oh,
the mayor
lovely.
and the president of Valencia. They're all there doing their pomp and circumstance and stuff.
Oh, I
so-
love it. And then a week later, which is what you talked about last night, the week later they'll start the actual masclettas situation.
That starts today. Well,
Yeah.
so everyone knows we're actually recording this on a Sunday. So
Yes. Today.
You're hearing us on a Tuesday, but we have to allow time for editing. And so today we'll actually start the 2 p.m. mascletta. So like kind of last night started like the fireworks, like this the neighborhoods and the people
Oh,
get
got it.
to
That's
start
what you saw.
throwing
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, so last night people started throwing their own fireworks, like the stores that
Mhm.
sell them were getting lines up, and the little kids were getting their poppets and
I love
all
it.
that, and so that's building up. So today I'm hearing random fireworks as people walk down the street,
Yeah.
and today will be a mascletta. And now starting today, every day at 2 p.m. will be the mascletta in the town square.
Perfect. So that just so to be clear, you have La Crida, which is the last Sunday in February, and then a week later is when the masclettas start daily. So
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
And speaking of the masclettas, because this is what I wanted to bring up a little bit, which is that when you have the masclettas, that is something that is worth going to at least once, right?
Oh, for
because
sure.
you can watch it on YouTube, it isn't even close to the experience of what the whole experience of a mascletta is, which is like it is designed for you to feel it in your bones, like just feeling the vibration and the whole thing, and it's insane. And you will never, and the noise, you could turn your volume of your TV all the way up, you'll still never hear it like
You'll
that.
never get that loud.
You're just never gonna feel it like that.
And it is a religious experience, I have to say. It really does
kind of
feel like, I mean,
It's
I've
insane.
had friends visit and they start crying.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think this was going to be moving. I'm like, it's so moving. I will recommend that if you live in Valencia and you haven't done this yet, or you live in the area, go now, because
Yeah.
the closer you get to the end of Fallas, it just comes packed with people. And if you're not, and I will honestly say this, and people can fight me, I don't care. Put it in the notes. Put it in the comment section. If you're not in the town square, you lose the importance.
You
of it.
do, and you can't get into the town square. You have to go at noon at the very latest if you
Especially
want
towards
to.
the end. Yeah. Mhm.
So you need to go into the town square very, very early in order to see the masclettas that happen at 2 p.m.
But now, while we're still in the work weeks and we're just setting up for Fallas, this is the slow build up. You can go just a few minutes before, get in the town square, go on a Tuesday or a Wednesday of this week, and you're getting it. And every day it's a different pyrotechnic company that does it, and then they vote on who are the winners, and who wins gets prizes. And I think they get to decide who does something next year. Or I don't know, but there's voting. They love a voting on these
They
things.
do love a vote. There's a lot of voting going on in this
And they're all good
festival.
from, it's not like one's bad. Like, it's not like they get better towards the end. So
No, they're all amazing. They all
They're all
look
amazing.
and feel like the final finale of a fireworks display.
yes, for 7 minutes.
For
5 to
7 minutes. Yes, exactly. And then the next thing that happens, obviously the masclettas now are going to be happening every day at 2 p.m.
Mhm.
for the rest of the festival. And then the next thing that happens is La Planta, which is the setup of all the Fallas that you can go see. So the first one, they set up the children's first, and then they set up the main Fallas.
Yes, because the main ones take
They take a long
2
time.
weeks to build.
Yeah.
And they have to be up by a certain day. I believe it's the 14th and 15th. Like the the children's have to be finished before the
Yes.
the big ones are done.
Yeah.
And those are all voted. If you're not finished in time, you don't get voted on.
Yeah, and they're just a little smaller, so they set those ones up first. And that you might, if you come and walk around a little earlier in the festival weeks, you might get to enjoy the children's ones and see the other ones being built.
Right. I will say we forgot to mention, or not forgotten to mention, I'm going to mention it now, is that there is a tradition with those are called the ninots, the little children statues.
Hmm.
And the tradition is they vote, again, voting on what's the best to save them, right?
Right.
So the museum, the Science Museum at the City of Arts and Sciences, every year has a selection from each of the ninots. They have one or two statues from the littler one
Hmm.
that are in the on display there, and you can go see the display, and then you vote on which one should save, and whichever one gets the most votes gets saved and put into the permanent collection of the Fallas Museum.
Which is
So
amazing.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
Which
There's
is very cute. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
cute. And that started a couple weeks ago. I don't feel like that started like the beginning of February. It's been going on for a
Right.
while.
Yeah. I mean, this is a year round scenario of building all of these things, and they can cost over 200,000 euros to create and reach heights of over 30 meters. And they have
Yeah.
a special area called the Ciudad Falera in Valencia, on the outskirts of Valencia, where they have all the warehouses where people are building and creating these things year round. Because as
Yes.
soon as this is over, they're going to start the next ones. I mean, I don't know if they get a 5-minute break, but it takes a long time. These things are enormous and
They are
very,
enormous.
I mean,
and
structurally
ornate.
I mean, just crazy. Yeah.
Yes, it is insane. So the last things that happen, like in the FIA schedule, it's that last week is when they have to vote, and there's the statues and the crowds are like crazy and everything.
Hmm.
A couple days before the end of FIAS, they have the offering of the ladies, the flower offering
Of the
to
Virgin de los Desamparados, the Lady, Our Lady of the Forsaken.
Right. And that is they build this huge,
It's amazing.
Yes, Virgin Mary with baby statue that's, I don't know, 50, 60 feet tall. I mean, it's ginormous. And thousands upon thousands of these falleros walk from their neighborhoods carrying the flowers.
It's kind of a frame, right? It's a frame
yeah.
Because go ahead.
They stuff the flower.
There you go. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to like take the wind out of that.
And they change the design of the dress
Yeah.
every year with the flowers. So every year it's a different. She's wearing new fashions every year.
Redesigned, but I love it. Yeah.
And it's beautiful. You watch and you just see them parading. They go back to get more flowers, and then there's so many flowers filling the square, and that we've talked about this before. In case people don't know, if you go back a year ago, we did do a 2-part episode on fire.
Yes, we did. So this is a little different things and some of the same things, but that one was the 2-part, a bit more detailed about so much of the things that we were experiencing. Yeah.
And then the night before the last night is when they have the big grand finale of the fireworks over the city, and it's actually over the City of Arts and Sciences, and it's probably the most breathtaking of the firework displays of a city that has consistently breathtaking fireworks displays.
And that's a nice location because you can see it from a lot of different areas, because the Arts and Sciences, if you're not familiar with Valencia, is in the middle of like a park area, so you can see it from a lot of different areas, whereas the town square where a lot of things happen, there's buildings all around. You're either in it or you're not in it. Like, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if they could logistically do what they do now, like in the center of town.
No.
Because that would be a fire hazard. These things are, it's huge.
Well, let's talk a little bit about fire hazards.
Last night?
It is when I literally don't know how this works. Any other city in the world, you could never start a festival like this now.
No.
Let's start there. It couldn't be happening in a town, in a city in America, because everything's made of wood. Like, it's just right. So this last night is when they burn, and this is called Crema, which is the night when they burn all of the fire, the little fire statues. And
the big ones,
all of it.
All go up.
I mean, you can go on YouTube and look at it's up in flames. Now, they do have the fire department there. It's very well organized. It is not a random situation that's happening. And we've gone to some in our towns and various places that we've lived, because it's not just happening in the city. It's happening in all the little towns around in Valencia. In the Valencia community, they will have they'll have their own in their town, and then they'll be following the same schedule, and they will
Right.
be setting fire to it on the same night. You don't have
Yes.
to be scared to go watch it. They have the fire department there. It's organized. It's incredibly organized, but still it looks insane.
It's insane, and it takes forever. I mean, for all of them to burn because the
Mm-hmm.
fire truck has to move from intersection to intersection. So it's done very well. But theoretically, it's all supposed to be done by midnight. It's going on until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That one that one
Right.
intersection still is waiting for the fire truck to come.
Well, I have a feeling there
But
might have been a time when they were all done at once. Maybe they were smaller. And then
or less
now
of
that they're
them.
being done and the fire department has to be there, it takes a lot longer because they're doing it, properly.
Yeah. And hiccups, whatever. Things don't start out, they don't light right. I mean, these are very flammable materials.
Yeah. And I don't know if they do it the same way. I've been to the ones outside of the city where they set up like a string with little fireworks, little firecrackers on it, and one of the fallera ladies like sets fire to the end of the string quite far away, and then it goes pop 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 pop, and it sets fire, and then eventually that fire gets to the artwork to set fire to that.
That's exactly how they're done here too.
It's really fun.
Now some are more elaborate, like the intersection that we went to last night to watch their night mascletà. They started off with a mascletà down the street. So it's a loud mascletà that leads to the statue, and then fireworks go off in the sky, and while it engulfs in flames,
right.
And then you watch it burn. And then there's other smaller, not as well funded intersections that have the string of firecrackers and 1 or 2 Roman candles that go off before it burns.
Yeah, so there's a variety, and you might see a variety within different towns and places that you go to, but it's very, and that's basically the end of the festival is that evening. Night,
is the burn,
early morning.
And we've said it before, and then we'll say it again. You wake up at 7 a.m. the next morning, the city is silent, and there is not a remnant of Fallas to be found. No ashes, no porta potties, no churro stands. It's like it never happened, and it was all a dream. I don't know how they do it.
It's crazy.
I don't know how they get rid of it all, because I go to bed. Last year we went to bed at 4 a.m. and everything was still out and about. You know what I mean?
They're very, very good at cleaning up after festivals here in Spain, has been my experience. And they are up and out the second that everyone's done. Like if things ending at 3 o'clock, they're up and out at 4. And sometimes you might be walking home and the people are already starting to clean the streets. It's amazing.
I think we've mentioned this before a year ago, but I have to mention it because I still think it's a funny story of us, is when we went to go see one of the mascletas in the town, and you were angry that people were just leaving their trash everywhere. And I was like, but they don't have trash cans here because of like terrorism and things like that, right? Like that's for a safety reason. They don't have all of them everywhere, so they just leave it. You're like, I don't think that. We went to have a hamburger, and 30 minutes later we left, and it was the city's spotless.
Like we were gone. Maybe
I'm like, are you still angry?
No, I know, it was amazing. I was like, this is so crazy. Well, so Fallas is obviously a local holiday. So I don't know about you. Xena has a very strange. So when we were at the other school before we moved to the Spanish school, the holiday was the whole week, and it then moved. We went back to school for like a week maybe or something, and then it was spring break, because Fallas is really landing so close to the Easter break that the kids have this period where they're like at school for 3 minutes, right? And this year they're off Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which I find to be very peculiar, because I don't know who's going to school on Monday and Friday, but I'm assuming all the teachers have to be there. So
there's probably some sort of like law that you have to have the school open so many hours, and they're like, we know no one's going to show up, but if we don't have it open, we're going to lose our accreditation or whatever. But this year, our school has the whole week off. In years past, because it's when the last night of Fallas is always the 19th, that never changes. So depending on when it falls, like our first couple of years, it was a Tuesday to Wednesday. So they got the Monday, Tuesday off. And then last year they got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This year they're giving the kids the whole week off.
Oh, okay.
So that was very nice because they were like, we can't have them go to school on just Friday. Even though they've done it before where they've made them just go on a Monday,
right?
For other, like Christmas break, they had to go to school on Monday of that week. And we're like, you couldn't just take the whole week off.
I don't get it. Yeah.
But my kids love it this year because they have the week off for Fallas, and then I think they go to school for a week or two, and then they're off for 2 weeks for
I don't think
break.
it's even a week. I mean, it's always for us. It's been I suppose it does depend when Easter lands, but it has always been just a very small trip, a very small part in between.
Right. Yeah.
But then and luckily for Xena, she has exams or like her trimestral exams this coming week. And then she will have a holiday for Fallas, and then she'll go back to school for a minute. Then she'll have Easter. She'll go back for a minute, and then she has a school holiday, and then she'll go back for the rest of the holiday. So I mean, this whole part of the year.
School holiday, but you mean school vacation, not like holiday.
No,
break,
like a class holiday, right?
Class trip,
like a class trip. Thank you. Like a class trip. Yeah, which is like 3 days, and it lands in the middle of the week. So now again, you got another week they're only at school for a couple of days.
So where's she going? Can we talk about that? We're done with Fallas right now. Let's talk about
We'll come back to Fallas.
again.
We are going to talk about the costumes because I do want to talk about the costumes, which are really interesting. Not the costumes, but the traditional dress. Excuse me. We're going to come back. Delete. We're going to come back and talk about the traditional dress, but let's just take a small little.
It's not a costume.
Here.
You can't get it at Spirit Halloween Spirit. What's that place called? Spirit Halloween. Whatever.
I don't know. So she's had some really good, very, very good. So she just went to Comic-Con, which is going on in Valencia right now. That was
a field trip
from school for the day, which I thought was really good. Especially, look, some kids are creative and artistic, and they want to see that kind of stuff too. It's educational, but it's also really fun. But not every school trip needs to be some really historical. Obviously, we're surrounded by historical things, and we're just there's so much to see. So I love that they're interlacing some kind of fun, different things in it.
Right.
And her class trip this time is like camp. I don't know where they're going, but it's like kayaking and hanging from trees and canoeing or whatever. I don't know what they're going to be doing, but I'm assuming they're living either in tents or a cabin. So not her thing. I don't know.
So you don't even know. You're just sending her away. You have no idea what this trip entails.
I didn't think she would want to go. It's so not up her alley, like at all. So I was like, well, she's probably not going to want to go. So that's fine. And then she was like, no, I want to go. I was like, okay, we'll see how it goes.
Right. Well, I mean, I have to say one thing that has, not one thing, because there's so many things. But something that I love about living here and my girls love about it is these school trips, not just the day field trips, but these school trips that they go on are amazing. And you just don't get that in America. You don't get to go to Madrid for 3 days. You don't get to go to the Canary Islands for a week. Every year, the trips get more advanced as they age.
They're going to the Canary Islands?
Mars trip this year is the Canary
God, I haven't
Islands.
even been there yet, and I really want to go.
I haven't either.
Maybe I should enroll and then go. I'm like, sometimes I look at their trips and I'm like, you're getting better trips than we're organizing, and this isn't good, right?
Right, yeah. No, she's been to places I haven't been to, and then I'm like, well, you should go there. And she's like, well, I already saw it. I'm like, well, I want to go to that town too. I want to go to Saragossa. I haven't been yet.
Yeah, no, Zena's had some really good trips, I think. They do. And I mean, part of it is that we are surrounded by things that none of us have been to. So it seems a bit more exciting than, your trip to DC or whatever that maybe everyone's done if you're back in the States. So, yeah.
I just don't remember my daughters, any of their schools, and any school that I went to, having these kind of like big year trips, being like, oh, in 7th grade, you have this trip. It was like little field trips, but not these like going away without parents. Like they're not asking for chaperones.
Oh, no. I mean, that is one of the joys of having your kids at school here, which is that you are not asked to participate in anything. So you can keep your focus and your time to actually do things with your kids because you're not having to do things for the school, which is lovely. But yeah, I think we had an incident at the first school that she was at where she was 10 And the Spanish parents were like really upset that the school hadn't organized a 3-day away trip for the kids. And all the foreign parents were like, but they're 10. So it became a little area of contention there between.
And the Spanish parents are like, we want our time.
Yeah,
we
the
paid for our
parents
3
are like,
days.
our kids go away at like nothing, you know? Like,
Right.
So by 10, they should definitely be, going somewhere. So it was a bit different.
Yeah, I even think that like the babies at the girls' school, like the toddler age ones, they don't have going away trips, but they have weekends at the school where like
that's
they have
fun.
like camping at the school. The parents drop them off for
that's
one
so
night or 2
cute.
nights to prime them
Yeah,
for the
exactly,
for
right?
the
They're
real
priming them
trips.
for a
Yeah.
field trip at age 4, like 5.
Yeah.
Which I like. They do. I do think that camps and the sort of the sleepaway things, which also exist here, can be good if you have a child that is going to enjoy that type of thing. It's not for everybody, but I think if you have a child that enjoys a bit more of independence, then I think that's good, and you can totally find that here as well.
For sure, yes.
Should we skip back into Fallas a little bit and talk about the
not costumes. The traditional dress.
These beautiful traditional dresses. I mean, the men are also, they also have a specific outfit as well, but the women are, it's a whole thing, which is amazing.
It is a whole thing, and these are gowns with large skirts and golden brocade fabrics and damask and silks, and they're so beautiful. And what is shocking to me is that there are still these like couturier, tailor, bespoke shops in every neighborhood that are hand making these dresses that can cost thousands of dollars. And
they're often handmade.
Euros, sorry, we're here.
Yeah, euros. So maybe between 2,000 and 12,000 euros, depending on what you're spending. Yeah. And they are inspired, which you can tell by the 18th, 19th century traditional dresses that are made with very intricate floral patterns and the big skirts, like
Yes. It looks like a Van Dyck painting has come to life, right?
Yeah. And they've got the corset, there's a shawl, and they, like you said, there are shops everywhere making these. And they also, some of them, and I haven't noticed this, but I wouldn't really know necessarily where to look, but because they're handmade, some of them do have the emblem that indicates their fire group. So they would maybe have a little bit of, I don't know what the nuances are.
I think it might be on the scarf, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
but there is something
somewhere.
So that, because in case anyone's not familiar or hasn't listened to our other episodes, every little area inside the city and every town has their own like fire group. Like you are part of this community that does things all year round to raise money, and it's a social activity that you're a part of, and it's a full family event of all the things that they do to raise money so that you can have this beautiful time at the festival.
And I will say about these dresses, these to the naked eye, to the newbie, they all look the same.
Yes.
But when you go see the offering of the flowers, if you watch that parade of the thousands of people and you let your eyes adjust, you actually see how different they are, even though they all kind of look the same. But the fabric choices,
you start to
and
see
the
different like section. Yeah.
The different, you see where they're taking their time of what's their personality. And the other thing is, when you notice, look at their shoes.
Oh yeah.
Their shoes, they're not wearing sneakers. They are these ornate.
Oh, these are matching the dress.
Shoes.
These are handmade shoes as well that are matching. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then the hairstyle, which I think is probably it's not maybe one of the things that you notice is they have a very specific hairstyle, which is 3 buns, 2 on the side and 1 on the back. And those are adorned also with gold and silver hair combs that are often passed down through the family, because this is a family affair. You've got little kids dressed up. You've got older people,
like toddlers in these dresses.
Yes,
yeah.
It's the whole family is doing this.
It's kind of like Princess Leia got really fancy
and put another bun on the back of her head,
and another one on the back. I will say, looking at them, to me, they just look really uncomfortable. I thought the combs and the hair, like the way they are, I'm like, that looks like it would hurt my delicate scalp.
Yeah, the hair does look like it would hurt. It's very perfect, right? It's very tied down and perfect.
It's very perfect.
Yeah.
A Spanish friend was telling me that there are that she knows some people that their business is just
Mm-hmm.
that, and they work like this month and don't work for the rest of the year. They make so much money
Oh,
getting
wow.
these girls ready for these different functions and stuff that they can make enough money doing this
Right.
that they can have off for the rest of the
Yeah, and
year. I'm like, I want that
well, and I
job.
assume
Maybe I need to learn how to
there's
do
sort of
that.
two elements to that, which is that the making of all these dresses throughout the year is probably something that can happen, but the actual on during the festival, like you said, the actual getting the girls ready and helping them with their hair and doing all this stuff
Hmm.
is like another element of
Yes.
business. Yeah. It's amazing.
And they do get into this dress throughout the year because they have these
Mm-hmm.
different functions, and they have the I think it's in the fall they start doing starting to do the uh choosing who's going to be, preparing to be for the king and queen stuff. They start having these events. I think they start near winter. I
Yeah.
don't really,
Well, one of the
I'm
things
not.
they have to do is they have to decide who's going to be their official fallera mayor, which is the queen of, for other words, the queen of your fallera group. So, and she's going to be
Right.
the one that's going to be representing and doing a lot of things. So that's something that has to happen before the festival, and that's a
Right.
whole, I'm sure, a whole shebang of events.
And the king and queen of Fias is announced in the end of
Hmm.
January, so that's been done, and you see them parading around town.
Right.
I've seen them. I've gone to the theater, like the theater, and they just walk in the lobby,
Hmm.
and people are
It was
praising
lovely.
them.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful. And then they go walk around into another event.
And a lot
Like
of tourists
they're big
taking pictures,
ambassadors.
right?
Yes.
I've seen them having their photographs taken, probably for their special calendars and events and things as
Hmm.
well.
I will say too that in my experience, and I've noticed that when tourists are taking their pictures, they're prided in it.
Hmm.
They don't necessarily pose,
Right.
but they smile and they'll stop and they're like they appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're spending thousands of dollars. They want the
Of,
they
of
want the
course.
props and the
And it's
attention. So
beautiful. I mean,
it
if
is
you get
so
to go up
beautiful.
close to one of these dresses, I mean, amazing, really. And the hair, I mean, just amazing.
Yeah.
It must take hours, yeah.
And speaking of its bias, I better get out our little blue and white checked
Oh,
bandanas so we
yeah.
can
I
start
wonder where
wearing
I
those
put
because it's the
ours. Oh
season.
my gosh.
And our little wooden box for the fireworks. Do you have a little wooden box for your
So,
fireworks? You live in a village
okay,
now.
so let's talk about fireworks for a second.
Uh oh.
So
You got a
we got a
dog. It's gonna be a
dog.
dog story. Are you gonna tell me a
I'm going
dog
to tell you a
story?
dog story. So we before lived in a place where they weren't allowed to throw any fireworks because it was a national park. So that was wonderful. We've
Hmm.
now moved into town, and our dog is, and this is going to be for a lot of people. It is not the time to have a pet in Valencia. It just isn't. So I started early on trying to sort of with a trainer, trying to get her used to fireworks and things because I realized we're in a small town now, and if they do fireworks and mascletas over in the town square, we're going to hear it. And the kids are going to be running
Right.
around throwing their little bangers wherever they want, right? And that could be up and down our street. And it could be 24/7 for 2 weeks or longer.
Right.
So, yeah. So it hasn't worked. And she's very nervous and she kind of runs around looking for a place to hide, but can't find one because she thinks she could hide from the from the sound and you can't because it's just on.
Right.
So I don't know how it's going to be because the last time we lived in this town it was COVID and all this stuff was canceled. So we haven't
Right.
lived in a urban environment with fires functioning. So I'm prepared to maybe, skip town for a few days if it starts getting really bananas because we might need to do that.
And I know I have friends in the city with their. I mean, I have to say I think it's funny because your dog was born in Spain, so it should be in her
I
blood.
know, but note.
Because in the city there's a lot of Spanish dogs they're lighting the fireworks themselves.
Well, that's true, but you're not seeing the ones that are stuck at home because they literally won't go outside during the fireworks. So you're seeing the ones that don't care. The other ones are terrified and just like, how do you even get your dog out to pee? Like, I don't know.
Well, to answer that question, well, what a lot of Americans in the city have done is they find the kennels outside and they board their
Yeah,
dogs for like at least the last
yeah.
week. But
I would highly
also they
recommend
have
people plan to do something like that.
Yeah, especially have a very
Yeah.
skittish dog about those things for sure. And then the other thing that the city people do is they've just instilled this in the last couple of years, which is you cannot light fireworks from like 8 to 10 in the morning, and then I think it's 5 to 7 at night. I don't quote
Oh,
me on the
that's
actual
really good.
times, and that is for people. That's the allotted time to walk your dogs
That's
peacefully,
amazing.
and you will
Love
get
that.
fined, and the police will get mad at you if they're around, but it's new, and it is a thing
That's really
now
good. Okay, because that's the other thing is that you have a dog like we do. If I'm outside with her and that's going on, now it's total chaos, right? Because she's trying to
right.
find a place to hide and dragging me back home, and it's just really bad. So that's a great thing. I'm glad you mentioned
It
that.
is, and I've talked to my local friends too. It's because also Fias has gotten so out of control because now it's this huge event that everyone in the world knows about and has to come and see. So there's a lot more tourists and a lot more tourists that don't behave
Mm-hmm.
properly and are lighting fire. So now there's more designated areas for lighting fireworks. It's not as wild as it used to be because it's
It's
gotten too
gotten
wild.
so
The people
crazy.
who don't know how to do it responsibly are messing it up for all of us that know how to do things
Right. And in
responsibly.
all
So
fairness, the Spanish kids, they've been brought up with this here and they know
right.
how to throw the firecrackers and stuff. And then, you're right. And you have somebody come in that hasn't been brought up with it. It's a very different experience.
Right. And then they think it's like Mardi Gras and they can just party with it. It's like, no, there's a tradition here. And Fias too is it's for Father's Day too. I mean, that is the Spanish Father's Day because it's celebrating Joseph.
Yeah, right.
So
But like you said, it's an
so
event.
it's
Yeah.
nice to know that we get props in Spain as fathers. Because in America, Father's Day is such a cast off. Like
Isn't it kind of
fathers
everywhere
get
a little bit?
I think
Yeah.
so. Like Mother's Day is the day you take mom out for dinner. It's the only day mom gets love. But Father's Day, it's like, here's a tie, bye. We're gonna meet my friends.
Well, and to your earlier point, FIAS is a very organized event that has been going on for many, 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 many years. And it
hmm
isn't just this free for all, throw fireworks everywhere type of thing. I mean, it is actually a very organized, very structured thing that's happening, and things are happening at the same time every year. And I think it does change when a lot of people that come in that don't understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I love it. And we're staying around for it. We're gonna be around for Fias week and for Easter break. My oldest is got her GCSEs this
I'm
year,
sorry.
so she told me at the beginning of the school year, do not plan any vacations because she has to be home
Yeah.
studying. And now that I see what these exams really entail, I'm like, yeah, we're not leaving at
No,
all.
she's got quite a few months
But I
ahead of
will say
her.
next year I want to leave. There's a lot of people that leave during
Yeah.
Fias because it's the cheapest time to go to the rest of Europe because no one's
Oh, right, this
traveling
is true. They're coming
except
back
for
here.
Valencianos. No one has this week off except for Valencianos. Even Spaniards don't have this
Right.
week off. Only Valencians have
And
that
that's
week
why
off.
I'm holding it, like if it gets really bananas, the cats I think have a better job. They might get scared, but they find places to hide because they're tiny. But a
Right.
poor German Shepherd is like there's there's nowhere to hide.
Nowhere. And they
No.
bark. My cats, they don't care. I mean, when we lived in California, there'd be an earthquake, and they'd be like, look up, and ain't a big one, and they'd go
Yeah.
back to sleep. So same with the fireworks. It's the last
I was going to
night
say it
of
depends, I think, because our cats have been kind of about the odd fireworks that's gone on and on, but I'm expecting it to get really bananas with the big mascletas and the final days and all this sort of thing. But they're just going to have to deal with it because they're smaller and they can do it. But we could take
and they
we could
do.
take Blaze and
It's
take her
it
out of town somewhere else.
Yeah, it's that night before the last night is when I'm done with Fias too. It's the night of the 18th. You come home from the huge firework display, but it's like the night of the 19th is when it becomes illegal. After the burn, it's illegal to light fireworks anymore, right?
Right.
So I feel like on the 18th, everyone's like, I spent all this money on these fireworks. We got to
Right.
burn them until they're gone because we won't be able to use them ever again. And so that last night, it's like 24 hours, the banging
Right.
and the banging and the banging and the banging. And then the next day, the mascletas are all day long because every neighborhood has their own mascleta in the day.
Okay.
So that's when even the cats are like, could we maybe go away next year? Do we have
You have to take everybody with you.
We've been troopers for 3 weeks, but I think we're done.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, people do leave, definitely. So it's worth experiencing. It's really, really fun. There's a lot of culture. There's a lot of interesting things to see and experience, but there's definitely a lot of people that have maybe done that for a few years and are kind of like, it's a lot.
Yeah, and especially, if you're an expat living here, it is a great time to get away if your kids don't have pending exams due, because it is so cheap. And we all moved to Europe to see Europe.
It's an opportunity to go.
It's the perfect opportunity. Yeah. I have friends that are going to Greece that week, and they're like, yeah, it was dirt cheap to fly. The hotels are dirt cheap. We're staying in a place we would never afford in the summertime. Right. And I was like, I want to go to Greece. I want to go see the Parthenon and things.
Right. Oh, more things to see.
More things to see.
Well, I think that pretty much covers our Fallas-ish episode.
Fallas is our catch-up.
Exactly.
Our monthly catch-up. Well, Tanya, on that note, I will talk to you soon.
Talk to you later. Bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of Our Spain.
We really appreciate all the support we have received since we started this podcast.
Visit ourspain.com for transcripts to this and our other episodes, some exciting merchandise, and if you are so inclined, there is also a link to buy us a coffee, which helps support this fun endeavor.
And please follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Our Spain Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to us wherever you're listening.
It really helps us stay connected, and we'd love to hear from you.
Let us know if there's any topics you would like for us to talk about. Even though we are happy to talk about anything, we also want to make sure it's informative for you.
Exactly.